This time on Outdoors.
Oh, something like that. Ooh, you know it's a good one when you get a good rod bending like that.
We head out with Captain Lynn Pridgeon for some speckled trout action in the upper stretches of Mobile Bay. Fall fishing is in full swing, and the inshore bite is on.
There's a fish.
Oh, as soon as it hits the water.
Captain Lynn and I head out from the causeway and find schooling speckled trout under the birds. Later, we find some larger fish and catch them 2 at a time. I'll show you some traditional causeway fishing techniques and bring in some pretty speckled trout, this time on Outdoors.
Oh, look at that. Oh, it's a bass.
Freshwater fishing.
There he is. Put the death grip on him. Woo!
Saltwater fishing.
It's a big fish. Got him. Real strong, powerful fish.
Inshore.
It's a good way to start off the morning.
And offshore.
I can't gain on it.
Hunting.
Whoa.
Covering the outdoors along the Gulf Coast. Meteorologist Jason Smith is here to show you where to go. And he will show you how you can do it, too. It's time for Outdoors with Jason Smith.
Fat, healthy largemouth right there. Woo!
I know that's a shallow spot.
Well, let's see if we can catch a fish on the first cast. There it is. That didn't take long. It's going to be an undersized fish, but this is a fun way to catch fish, you know, in the early fall and get an opportunity to come out here. And this fish here is probably about 12 inches. We'll catch a lot of fish like that today, and we're just going to have to try and get through them and find some legal ones.
For this particular show, we had some unusual circumstances for the fall. Typically, in the fall, you have salt water well up into the delta, and the fish are migrating up into the delta above Highway 90 and above I-10. But this year, a totally different pattern. Muddy water coming down from upstate has flushed all the shrimp out into the bay. And the fish have followed the shrimp, and they're still there in the muddy water. We caught speckled trout in some really terrible water conditions, and the water's muddy on top. The fresh water is lighter, the salt water is heavier, so there's still plenty of salt water for the trout. They're down a foot or 2 or 3, down not right at the surface, but that muddy water rolling in over the top of the salt water, pushing the shrimp out and pushing the fish a lot further south than is normal for this time of the year. Birds are a great indicator of feeding fish because what's happening is those birds are lazy, especially gulls. A pretty good bet if they're diving in a mass flock of birds, they're diving because the trout are chasing shrimp up to the top of the water, way up in the water column. The shrimp are hopping for their lives, and the birds are swooping in for an easy meal. They're also feeding on the bits and pieces of shrimp that are left over as a trout may hit a shrimp, bite it in half, and that kind of thing. So it's a really good indication of feeding fish when you see birds. Now, birds don't always mean that you have legal trout. Sometimes it means you can have small fish, but typically it means that there are fish feeding, whether they're speckled trout or white trout.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're looking for right there, right, Lynn?
Yeah, that's a better one.